I want to introduce you to someone, if you haven't been with us at lunchtimes over the last few months. It's an incredible bloke that I found by chance, actually, in lockdown 1, and some really sound advice to get us through on the days that we're just not feeling it. It's Rob Edwards from Life Cycle Coaching in Sandbach. Hello.
Hello, Lou. How are you? You okay?
Yeah, do you know what? I'm doing all right today. I was saying earlier on, a little bit of a panic because I haven't used an alarm clock for years.
You doing mornings? That must be a challenge, I guess.
Yeah, because I haven't done it for a long time. Once you're in the routine of it, you're all right. When you haven't done it for ages, you can't sleep, Rob. You're just thinking, if the alarm doesn't go off, what if it doesn't go off? What if it doesn't go off? So you just get up, don't you?
You do. So what did you do? Did you set about 3 alarms? Was that the idea?
You bang on. It was 3. I found one in the cupboard, and whatever time you set it for, it goes off 45 minutes after you've set it. It's ridiculous.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you,
you
so
made
much.
It. That's the main thing.
Well, I did, yeah, just did. And I want to introduce you to people that might not have heard you on the lockdown lunch hour because through chance, I think it was last June, that I'd heard all about your website, all about your podcast. And I have a lot of anxiety, Rob, and listening to the work that you do, especially with your son, it really helped me because we're not all right every single day, are we?
No, we're not. Thank you for that. And I'm lucky that we had this chance, really. So, Scott and I, Scott's my eldest son, we started a podcast halfway through lockdown last year, actually. We went out for a little walk, and it's something that we've been thinking about doing for ages. And because we both have anxiety, I have anxiety. I've had depression at various different points in my life as well. And we were toying with the idea of doing a podcast. And we just said, let's go for it. We don't quite know what we're doing, but let's go for it. So we put a podcast out there called All About the Doubt, right? All About the Doubt. And it was a father and son podcast all about self-doubt, imposter syndrome, and all those things that plague us on a day-to-day basis, and anxieties and that sort of stuff.
Do you think, I think for me anyway, the magic where I went, this is for me, because, you can trawl through all different stuff and it's either going to work for you or it isn't. It's as simple as that. For me, it was a dad and his son having a really honest chat. There was no jargon. There was no words that can be quite intimidating. When you want to feel better and you're thinking, well, I don't even know what you're talking about. There was none of that. And you have a really, really good laugh. And I couldn't believe, after half an hour listening to the podcast, just felt uplifted. I just felt better.
Oh, well, that's really nice. And that's what we wanted. When you start to talk about topics like that, they tend to be highly stigmatized. There's a lot of fear around talking about opening up and talking about emotions and mental health and all that sort of stuff. It's quite a fearful place to be, and especially when you are experiencing difficulties like that, it becomes even more isolating. So we didn't want to fill it with loads of jargon. There's plenty of technical stuff out there about what to do with mental health and depression and anxiety. There's loads of that stuff out there, but we wanted to do it in a really honest, human way. With a dad and a son talking about some of the things that we struggle with, and it was just really natural. And then we bring guests in, and we've been really lucky. We've done 25 episodes, I think now, 2 seasons, and we've had a guest on each episode, and they've been brilliant. They've come in and really opened up and shared some of their experiences, and it's been an absolute blast, Lou. We've loved it.
I would like you to know that there is only your podcast and Bridgerton that I watched and listened to back to back to back to back. But it was fantastic. And I think what we've learned as well in the last year is, it's all right. Some days you get up, you feel all right. Some days you don't. And it is as simple as that. And instead of fighting ourselves, you've kind of helped us to work it out and go, do you know what? Don't be so tough on yourself. Like today, Good Friday. There's a lot of clout behind that it has to be, oh, it's going to be great, and it's bank holiday weekend, and well, I'm afraid to say you might not be feeling it, and I don't know if you can help us along through the weekend.
I'll do my best. We do feel pressure at bank holidays, don't we? You can tell there's always that pressure to do something with it. I can tell it's a bank holiday today because Scott's actually just called me about 10 minutes ago and said, have you got a jet wash, Dad? Can I borrow it? So he's on with it already. Right?
Does he mean, Dad, can I borrow the jet wash? Or Dad, can you come round and clean the car?
I ain't cleaning the car for him. No way. But he can borrow it with absolute pleasure, right? But we feel that pressure at Easter and bank holidays to get a load of stuff done, don't we? But we've got a chance this time because we are still a little bit restricted. We can't go out and do the same things that we used to do on bank holiday. So, we might have started off the weekend by going large on the Thursday night. We can't do that at the moment and then spend half of your Friday planning what to do and where to go. And then by the time you get to the afternoon, you've still not done anything or you're sat in a queue at B&Q,
I went a bit early, Rob, on bank holiday because on Tuesday it was in my head that we were coming up to a bank holiday weekend. I don't know what trigger that sets off in your brain. I watched a Bob Marley documentary. I thought, I'm going to have some rum. I think it was Who Shot the Sheriff. As I'm watching that, getting a bit of rum down, I'm thinking it's nearly bank holiday.
Exactly.
With everything shut, though, what would be your hacks to kind of get us through it and not focus on everything that we can't have, but what we can?
Right, I've got 3 little hacks for the Easter weekend, all right? Number 1, it's dead simple, right? It's a holiday, so use it. So stop checking your email, okay? Because that's a temptation. If we are off work, and most of us will be, number 1, resist that temptation to check in and work. It's a holiday for a reason, so commit to using it for relaxation, for rest and recovery. Turn off your laptop, turn off your social media, leave it. It'll still be there on Tuesday, all right? That's number 1. Number 2, and it's really nice to do this. We don't often do it. Ask yourself, what is going to make me really happy today? It's amazing how many times we wake up and fill our day with stuff that makes us unhappy or stuff that we have to do. So you've got a perfect time now to turn it around. So if you are sitting there this morning, stuck for what to do, get a bit of paper out and write down all the things that make you happy right now. All right?
I've just written down rum.
Right, perfect. Right, save that for a little bit later. You've still got 3 hours of the show left to do. I'd leave that.
That's a very good point, Rob. Chocolate, I've added. Chocolate.
Do that later. Chocolate, rum, whatever. We've got the rule of 6 as well now, so it's a perfect chance to go and safely see those people that we haven't seen for ages, right? But then, so once you've written it down, the chances are you'll find something that will make you feel better about yourself or about the day ahead. Commit to doing that. And then number 3. And here's the key to it. Set yourself 3 little small goals for the weekend from that list. They don't have to be huge things, just 3 little things to make sure we're actually doing something with the time that we've got. Because research shows that if we set 3 smaller goals, we're much more likely to hit them than if we set one massive one, right? And by setting 3, it just helps to build that momentum and it helps to develop that self-belief that we're getting down and doing something with it.
Well, you've already got number 1 on your list, which is jet wash for Scott.
Yeah, exactly. Drop off the jet wash for Scott. I've already done number 1. I've got up and blitzed the house this morning, right?
So stop it. You're just showing off now. You've already cleaned the house. Rob, every single time that we speak, we get emails in, people phoning in. Thank you, because it's such sound advice. It's like we're all stuck in the same situation, but you kind of make us think about it differently. And what is the best way for anyone listening going, hang on, I want to hear the podcast. Where can we find you?
You can find the podcast at All About the Doubts. If you just search on that, All About the Doubt, and you'll find it on Spotify and Anchor and Apple and all those leading sites. And if you want to go to the website, that's livecyclecoaching.co.uk.
You're a good bloke. Get jet washing. Rob, thank you so much for joining us. Have a lovely Easter.